What is up, budgeting family and friends? My name is Shirria. This is the Shirria Mag channel, where I am documenting my six-figure debt-free journey as an entrepreneurial licensed clinical social worker with a virtual private practice, also working a part-time job along with my husband, who is a welder. We are on a journey to pay down our $305,884 worth of debt in 3 years or less. So the goal is to be out of this debt by December 31st, 2026. And we are documenting and sharing this journey with monthly budgets, weekly budgets, debt updates, and because I am an Transfer Tuesdays, and because I am an entrepreneur, I do also share my private practice income earnings at the end of every month. And if that is something that you feel like you could be inspired and informed by, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel to follow our debt-free journey. Today's video is March week 4's budget, and we will get right into it. All right, so this budget starts Thursday, March the 21st, and it goes until Wednesday, March the 27th. We budget weekly. My husband and I are both paid weekly from our full-time jobs. I'm paid every other week from my part-time job, and our weeks go from Thursday to Wednesday because my husband gets paid on Thursdays and I get paid on Friday. The income for this week was planned at $2,700. That's $800 from my husband's paycheck, $900 from my paycheck. I do pay myself as an employee of my business, and then $1,000 from my part-time job. The actual income that was earned was $2,870.21, with $804.36 coming from my husband's paycheck, $936.67 coming from my paycheck, and $1,129.18 coming from my part-time paycheck. We go over to savings, and the savings for this pay period was planned at $195, and that included $50 to my high yield savings account as well as $50 to my husband's savings account, $10 to M1 investments, and I do just invest $20 per month, and right now I'm investing in the S&P 500, and I did actually earn $2.32 in dividends from the S&P 500, so that was exciting. $25 towards Christmas 2024, and the goal is to have $2,500 in that account by Christmas. $10 to my son. I wonder if this is right. I think Christmas got $25 and my son got $18. And then $50 did actually go into my daughter's savings account. She is a junior in college, and so we try to put give $200 for gas and groceries and things of that nature. So we had planned on saving $195, and we actually saved $203 of our income for this week. We transitioned over to bills. Bills for this pay period or this week were planned at $719.44, which included $275.12 towards Wells Fargo mortgage. The actual amount is $333 because we have a shortage in our escrow account. $97.78 was supposed to come out for our house insurance on our investment property. That is automatically drafted out on the 20th, but it still has not come out. $330 is our budget bill for our utilities, and $330 is what was paid, and $16.54 for Netflix, and $16.54 is what was paid. So the bills for this month for this week were planned at $719.44, and we actually paid $679.54. Expenses for this week were extraordinarily high. They were planned at $675, and that included $150 for groceries. What we actually spent was $126.05. Gas was planned at $120, and we actually spent $337.19. Beauty maintenance was planned at $25, and I did spend $170. And as you can see, my nails are back manicured and done, and I feel amazing. Boys hair, toiletries, and household was planned at $50, but nothing went towards those accounts or those expenses. $50 for fast food, and we actually spent $79.32. $80 in miscellaneous, and we actually overspent at $83.42, and $100 in tithes, and I actually tithed $120.42, which brought our actual expenses for this week to $916.40. We transitioned over to debt, my favorite category. So we had zero planned for all of these accounts: Carnival, Barclays, Amazon, American Express, Platinum American Express, Capital One, Ulta, State Employees Credit Union. All of those have zero balances, and nothing from those cards was snowballed into our accounts. Again, my Hilton American Express, my kids are authorized users on this account, and I do try and cover most of my daughter's expenses. Sometimes that comes out of my pocket, sometimes it comes out of the $50 that we put in an account for her. Our PayPal does have a balance. My husband's minimum payment was $41. We were able to put $484 on the Citi card, but that did have a minimum payment of $49.50, which is snowballed into this payment. And then Delta American Express has a zero balance, and the $40 was also snowballed into this $484 payment. Honda Financial is planned at $250, and I paid $414.16 because 15% of my part-time income goes towards the principal on the Honda Financial. That does have a very high interest rate, and because that is the next debt that we will be tackling once we get out of credit card debt, I do attribute 15% of my part-time income towards that balance. So that brought our actual debt payments to $1,312.84. Yay! We transitioned over to budgeted versus the actual. We had a planned rollover balance of $111.66. The actual rollover balance was $521.02. The income was planned at $2,700, and the actual income was $2,870.21. The income saved was planned at $195, and the actual income saved was $203. The income spent, which is the combination of bills and expenses, was planned at $1,394.44, and we actually spent $1,595.94. The debt payoff was planned at $379.70, and we actually put $1,312.89 towards debt. So that left a balance of $842.52 with an actual leftover balance of $279.40. Don't know how accurate that is. I think we actually are rolling over 5 and some change into the April week 1's budget. So we go over to the breakdown, and this is disappointing that only 6.5% of our income went towards savings, but also 6.5% of our income went towards savings. 21.8% went towards bills, 29.4% went towards expenses, and 42.2% went towards debt. If you are new here, I do like to see 50% or more towards debt and 10% or more in savings. And for this week, we were not able to meet either one of those goals. But that's okay. There's always next week. We go down to my spending transaction log, and I do not go over every transaction because a lot of times it is reflected up front, but I do like to go over miscellaneous and any categories that we overspent in. So miscellaneous was over by $3 and some change, and here's one of the miscellaneous expenses. Got pants out of the cleaners, gas in the Honda Pilot, Savings. I covered these again, some of Ashton's purchases. So $6.39, $7.46, $30.91. I covered all of those expenses. I made $163.96 principal payment out of my part-time paycheck. I did put $223.95 on Great Wolf. I made that payment on my American Express card, but I put the tickets for Great Wolf Lodge on my American Express card because I wanted the points, and I knew I could pay it right back off out of my son's spring break savings fund. We put gas in the Honda going to Charlotte to take my son to Great Wolf Lodge, and it was not $163.19. It might have been $63.19. But I'm not going to change it because it's going to delete all of the rest. And then another miscellaneous expense, we paid for Jump Park tickets while we were in Charlotte. That was $21.60 off of Groupon. We had to pay $8.28 for the socks for the Jump Park. We also bought concrete to put up a new mailbox. In the eating fast food, we ate at Golden Corral. We took the kids to Golden Corral. We had to put gas in my truck to come back from Charlotte. Then, because I had been around people all that weekend, and I am an introvert and I had no time to recenter, I did, as soon as we dropped them off, I left. I went to Dunkin'. I got me some coffee. I treated myself, and then I went and did my grocery shopping with my headphones in the grocery store, and it was all of the self-care, all of the recentering I needed to fill my cup as an introvert, and it was lovely. And then for groceries, although we did not go over in the grocery category, I did go to three different grocery stores to get the groceries for this past week. And then $30 to another fundraiser for my nephew, and then again gas in the Camry, which is the car that my husband is driving. So $50.29. Gas must be increasing because normally it costs about $60 for both cars. $60 for my car, my truck, $60 for the car that my husband is driving, whether that is the Camry or the Honda. So, those are all of the expenses that we did for this pay period. Not too bad, honestly. I'm glad to see that there is not a lot in the miscellaneous category. It means that we are being very intentional with our spending. I would love to not have to put as much money on the Hilton American Express, but I also do want to support my daughter while she's in college. So have to find the line in the sand for that. That is it for March week 4's budget. It seems like March just came and went, and as excited as I am about it, it kind of brings some dread that like November will be here before we know it. Anxious to see how we end the year, where we end the year, but also like still wanting to be very present in the moments and enjoy the days or whatever. So I'm trying to be intentional with not rushing our debt-free journey, like being in the moment of the journey so that I can look back and be very grateful on where I have come from. So I say that to say I'm excited to see how we end March, what numbers we end March with and start April with. But I think I definitely am able to notice the improvements in our budgeting from week to week. When we first started out budgeting, a lot of times we were overdrawn. So for this to be week number 5, where we have had a rollover balance of $500 or more, is definitely progress for us. So that's exciting to see in itself. And it brings up another great point, to be able to recognize the progress in every area. Sometimes the progress is not that you paid off a credit card, or that shouldn't be the only time you are recognizing progress, or you paid off a debt. Sometimes it can be that, oh, I had $10 left over in my budget as opposed to normally having 99 cents. That's progress. So absolutely celebrate all the wins, acknowledge and celebrate all the wins on this journey. It's already it can be a very dark and shameful journey for a lot of people who are shameful of the debt that they're in, And that's why I try to be very transparent about our journey to inform and inspire others. And if you know someone who would be informed and inspired by my 6-figure journey, then I encourage you to share my channel with those individuals. And if you have not already subscribed to follow our journey to get out of this debt in 3 years or less, please consider subscribing. It's free, and I would really love the support from the followers. So that is it for March week 4's budget. I am looking forward to the next one. I will catch you guys there. Bye for now.